everyone, welcome back to the Stitches and Scribbles channel. My name is Erin and I've got another tutorial for you guys today. So I am trying to use up some yarn in my stash, so I turned it into an advent calendar. I'm leaning the wrong way. I used an old scented candle advent calendar and just kept all the boxes and put all of my sock yarn scraps in there. Probably back in June, somewhere like that. I arranged them all in an order, but made sure to do it early enough that I'd kind of forget what the order was. But I wanted to create a special project to use all of those scraps together. So I am calling this the Scrapvent cowl. This one was made with worsted weight yarn in a self-striping design, just to kind of mimic the look of a scrappy yarn. But for the real thing, I'm going to be using scraps. This was just for the purposes of the tutorial. This is made using moss stitch or linen stitch. I've seen it called both things. And it is my bandana style cowl that I've been making a lot of lately. So without further ado, grab your yarn of choice and a hook and let's get stitching. Alright, so for this project you need the yarn of your choice. Now I am doing it with scrap sock yarn for my actual advent project, but for the purposes of the tutorial I just picked a yarn that I had in my stash. This is the Red Heart Super Saver Stripes in the color Jewel Tone, and you want a hook that is fairly big compared to the size of your yarn. So for example, on this yarn label it says to use a 5.5mm hook and I'm using an 8mm hook. So you want it to be pretty big to give yourself a drapey fabric. Again, you can do this in whatever yarn you want, even a bulky yarn. We'll talk about how to change the measurements to fit what you want. So yeah, just grab whatever you want in your stash. I picked this one just because the color changes are going to kind of look like I'm working with scrappy yarn, just for an image of what the final product's going to be when we do it for Advent. To start off, you're going to do a slip knot, just like you would always do. And we're going to chain 4 to make our starting circle. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to insert your hook into the first chain that you made and slip stitch it together to make that little circle. Now we're ready to start our actual stitches. You're going to start by chaining 1 just to get up to the height you want. Single crochet into the loop, chain 1, and single crochet into the loop again. This is going to give us one side of our triangle. Now we're going to chain 2 to be the corner, and to complete the other side, you single crochet 1, chain 1, and single crochet 1 again. Now, I know this is going to kind of just look like a blob at the beginning. It's a little hard to see the definition in these stitches, but as long as you count what you're doing carefully, we can get through it no problem, and then it's pretty easy from there on out. Turn your work and chain 1 just to be your edge stitch. We're going to single crochet right into that first single crochet from the previous row. Then you're going to chain 1. From here on out until we get to the corner, you're going to be single crocheting just in spaces. So we're going to single crochet into the chain space, chain 1, single crochet into the corner. We're going to chain 2 for the corner and single crochet in the same corner. Now we're going to chain 1, single crochet into the chain 1 space from the previous row, chain 1, and single crochet into that final single crochet to be our last stitch for the row. Pull out a little bit more yarn so that I'm ready for the next one. The skein's a little bit tight. So just to kind of show you the anatomy of what we're doing. For any triangle shape, like a shawl or a bandana cowl like this, you need increases on both corners that are on the flat edge, and you need increases on the right angle corner at the bottom. So the way we're doing this is, instead of skipping over the first single crochet like you would if you were working this in just a flat rectangle stitch, we work into that first single crochet to be our increase. Then we use the spaces for our other stitches. We do the single crochet, chain 2 single crochet in the corner, work the spaces on the next side, and then finish in that final single crochet to be our increase. We're going to do a couple more rows together on camera just to practice this. So you always start your row with chaining 1 and then doing a single crochet into that first stitch. Then you chain 1 and work into the next chain space. Chain 1, work into the chain space. Chain 1. Now we're at the corner. So we're going to do a single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet back in that same stitch. Then you chain 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1, single crochet in the last chain 1 space, chain 1, and finish your row by single crocheting into that last single crochet. And this is what your piece should look like. Let's do one more row together. So you start with a chain, like always, single crochet into the first single crochet, chain 1. Now we're working only in spaces. So single crochet into the space, chain 1, single crochet into the next space, chain 1, single crochet into the next space, chain 1, single crochet into the corner, chain 2, single crochet into the corner again, chain 1. If you're me, pull out some yarn so that you can keep going. Single crochet into the next chain stitch, chain 1, single crochet into the space, chain 1, single crochet into the final space, chain 1, and single crochet into the last single crochet. You're going to want to continue this triangle pattern until this width, so the like flat side of the triangle that would go around your neck, is as long as you want to fit comfortably and loosely around your neck. We don't want this to be too tight, especially if you are using a bulkier yarn. You want it to have some nice drape to it when you put it on. So go ahead and continue this triangle pattern until you have reached your desired length. Okay, this is how big my cowl got for me to be happy with the length of the neck hole. So now we're going to join our two corners together in order to make this one continuous piece. So this is where my hook was at the end of the last row. So I'm going to chain 1, bring in my other corner, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the single crochet that I started the last row with. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and this is kind of the shape that you're going for. That chain 1 between the two corners where we joined now acts as a chain 1 space in the pattern. So now that we've chained and turned, we're going to do a single crochet in that space we just created, chain 1, and then you're going to do your pattern as normal all the way around. We're still going to work the corner the same way and work the sides the same way. So you go ahead and work around your piece, making sure to do the corner stitches, and I'll show you what to do at the end of the row. Once you've worked into the last chain 1 space, we're just going to chain 1 and then slip stitch into that first single crochet we did at the beginning of the row. Now you can turn your work again, chain 1, and start your first single crochet right in that chain 1 space from the previous row, and continue working around as normal. So you're always going to end by slip stitching into the first single crochet that you started with in that row. Then to turn your work, you chain 1, turn, and work right into that first chain 1 space that you create. Go ahead and continue this pattern until your cowl is your desired height, like this way on the back of your neck, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we're finished. And that's going to be it for this tutorial. I did not a ton of rows in the back, just enough to get it so that I had a couple of inches for the back of the neck, just so that it would sit the way I like to, where it's a little slouchy in the front. I did want to also show you that I made a version in sock weight yarn. This was made using a set of minis, And generally the thinner yarn has a little bit better drape to it with projects like this, but as you can see, both of them turned out very fun. So that's what the finished cowl looks like. I'm going to be opening one of my little yarn balls every day during December, and I'm going to do my best to get it posted both on here and on my TikTok account if you'd like to follow me there as well. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in seeing more crafty videos from me, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below so that you can be notified of all my videos right here on YouTube. And if you'd like to follow me on other social media sites, that information is in the description box below. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!